Hello, everyone. We are here on behalf of Clovernook Center for the Blind and Visually Impaired's Meet the Blind Month. And throughout this month, I'll be sitting down doing a series of interviews with individuals who are blind or visually impaired. And today we have a special young lady all the way from Memphis, Tennessee. Would you like to introduce yourself and give us your title?
Thank you so much for having me today. I'm Stephanie Jones, Communication Skills Instructor for Clovernook Center in Memphis, Tennessee.
So, Miss Stephanie, what does a typical day for you look like at Clovernook Center?
So as Clovernook's Communication Skills Instructor, it means I have the privilege of teaching individuals with blindness and visual impairments those skills that they need to communicate on a day-to-day basis. Whether that's reading or writing Braille, or using assistive technology such as their Apple devices and the accessibility functions that are built in them in order to do simple tasks such as text messaging, emailing, making phone calls, surfing on the internet, web browsing, or using OCR apps to be able to capture information from printed text that they don't normally have access to.
Also, the way I understand it, there is a huge part of the blind and visually impaired community that use Apple devices.
So currently the statistics tell us between 90 and 95% of individuals who are using smartphone technology with a visual impairment are iPhone users. So that's the technology that I focus on. I love my Apple technology because it makes it easier for me to be mom at home. It makes it easier for me to work doing email and text messaging, simple things, and it puts me in a level playing field with my peers. So I am a certified iOS instructor, and I love being able to show these devices off and show individuals how they can make them more independent.
Wow, that is excellent. Thank you for your service. I mean, we need more individuals that are doing this, so this definitely does not go unnoticed.
Well, thank you.
The next question that I would like to ask you about is, tell us a little bit about your story. How long have you been, blind, visually impaired? Is this something that happened at birth or along your journey? Why don't you elaborate on that a little?
So I was born sighted. Nothing that I have actually done prepared me for my career that I have now, because this is not what I planned for. Even though I was sighted at birth and had typical eyesight throughout my childhood and even into my early adulthood, 15 years ago, a medical condition did arise that caused me to lose my sight. And at that time, I was working full-time in the field that I love. I have a pre-med pharmacy background, and so I was teaching and working in Walgreens stores in 30 of them across Tennessee. In the middle of buying a brand new house, and I was a mother to a 7-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a brand new 8-week-old. So it was not what I expected, but now 15 years later, I can say that it's been okay. Thanks to the rehab services that I received at Clovernook Center in Memphis, I was able to learn things that allowed me to be independent. So my orientation and mobility, the use of the white cane, how I can travel independently. I learned assistive technology skills. So writing an email or surfing on the web, browsing the web, are things that are completely accessible to me, where I can do those things with little to no issues. And then learning the Braille and being able to apply that to what I'm teaching now. So that's my journey.
Wow, that's very powerful, and I'm sure being sighted and having to adjust, that's a huge life change. Going from being regularly sighted to visually impaired, I mean, I'm sure that just turns your world upside down, but the fact that you were able to rebound from that and be better from it and to still continue to live, I think that is amazing. The next thing I would like to ask you is, I'm sure that when you're asked this question, there are probably 1,000 things that may come to mind. But if we could just focus on one thing that you would like the world to know about people who are blind and visually impaired, what would you say?
That blindness and visual impairment is nothing more than an adjective that describes something about me. It is not the sum of who I am. At the end of the day, I'm Stephanie, not a medical diagnosis. And so I think when we start to focus on the person and not the condition, we learn that people have talents and they have gifts and they have skills, and that the world needs those people. They need those people to be independent and need them to use their skills and talents to make the world a better place.
Wow, perfectly put. And the last question I'll ask you is, what's one fun fact about you?
For me, I think I try and do everything I'm big and bold enough to do. My blindness is not going to stop me. So one of the fun things that I like to indulge in is I have a very nice Coach purse collection. And so someone would probably say, why do I need dozens of Coach purses in all different sizes and colors? Because guess what? I can. And I think that my blindness should not exclude me from enjoying any part of life that I want to. It just means that there needs to be adaptations in place that I can use. So those descriptions on the website tell me exactly what I'm ordering, and as long as they're accurate, I'm good to go, and I get new purses whenever I want.
Wow, I love it. So Clovernook Center would like to thank you for taking the time out to listen to us as we share a bit about ourselves, and hopefully this information is useful to you and informative and allows you to learn a little bit about the blind and visually impaired community.